Watch out, everybody. We have a massive giant back on the move. Disney is prepping for a heavyweight showdown between themselves and Epic Universe in 2025. Bob Iger has made some strong remarks at the Morgan Stanley conference just about a week or so ago, and it promises for a brighter future that I think the entire fan base is looking for. But here's the real question: is this real? Or is this a curtain of lies to help protect the current Disney board before the board meetings in just a couple of weeks? Well, I'm here to shed some light on this and get some real answers in three, two, one.
To all those that come to this happy place, welcome.
What's going on, guys? Thanks for coming back to the channel. As usual, links are in the description for all the chapters that are going to be on this because I know your time is valuable. But I just want to get you guys kind of updated on what's been going on with me in the channel. So, as my channel has become more established, I have way more followers than what I thought I would at this point, which is phenomenal. I figured I should do some due diligence and kind of refresh my page, do a retheme, if you would, of Happy Place and make sure that I'm giving you guys the best content that I possibly can. With that, I have rethemed basically what my page looks like, kind of the description breakdown, and my new logo, which I'm super excited, which should be, I think, in this corner. I could be completely wrong, but I think I have it now where my logo will pop up in every single video. So I'm super excited about that. I ran it past a few of you guys just to make sure that it looked good, it looked clean, and it made sense. So thank you so much, and you know who you are. But yeah, so another thing that'll be coming is I'll be dropping a new channel video as well, hopefully within inside the next week. Get that done because I watched it again for the first time, and well, first time in a couple months, and I had to say it's terrible. Not bad. I'm putting more harsh words there than what I probably should, but it just isn't good. So refreshed everything to make sure I'm giving you guys the best content out there. But that is kind of an update where I'm at. And let's get into the video. I am super excited. We have a lot of things to go into this because there's some big news coming out of Disney. And it seems like they're putting up a fight to either get back in standing with their fan base or at least kind of hold things over for the next couple of months. So let's get into it. So we all know, especially if you're a Disney addict like myself, that April 3rd is quickly approaching. And the current board is probably in a state of panic, is the best words that I could probably think of, because there's a lot of opposition up against them, and it seems like the opposition might have the upper hand, at least as of now. But Bob Iger came out swinging with some really, really strong words and having a great time at the Morgan Stanley conference, where I think he may have sparked at least some kind of life back into the current fan base or even new fan base that might be hearing of the news for the first time. So, if you guys didn't know, the Morgan Stanley conference happened a little while ago, and this is the first time I'm getting the chance to actually talk about it. But Bob Iger sat on a panel and answered questions about what is the state of the company and where is it heading. And I had a feeling that if I watched a couple videos back of mine, I said that Disney was going to start dropping major hints at new things to come to the park because of the board meetings April 3rd. And I think I'm right on par with that because Bob Iger comes out and states that if Disney wanted to and could, big thing there is could, that they could and would expand into 7 different full lands around the world for their Disney parks. That is crazy. Now, the timeline for those, no one knows. But I think it is a big enough hook for the Disney company and the current board to go, this is something promising to look forward to, and it's what the fans are needing slash wanting to get through the next couple of years. We know that the Bob Chapek era through COVID which could be some of himself, mostly himself, and COVID, but it just left a really bad taste in the mouth of the Disney fan base and the people around the world that are just interested in the Disney company. And they have been fighting to get out of a hole. And here's the thing, guys, this hole is somewhere between 2 and 5 years long in total time it would take for Disney to get out of it because everything that was approved for them were 2 to 5 years out. So, how does Disney fight that? Well, first off, they've been going through the easiest way to say it is hell for the last couple of years. And I don't know if maybe the decisions of the current board, along with Bob Iger, um, is maybe in either a state of panic or they're like, we're finally breaking free and we can kind of get into the mentioning of where they'd like to be with inside the next 2 to 5 years because we're kind of coming up to the end of where maybe the JPEG decisions are kind of phasing out at this time. So, Bob Iger, big statement, 7 new full lands coming when? No one actually knows. But is it enough to solidify the current board and maybe deter people away during the April 3rd board meetings where they might get outvoted and the board might change? That we won't know until April 3rd. I have a feeling within the next couple of weeks, we are going to get more drops and more hints at what possibly will be going on in the Disney parks. And that is like the blue sky projects like Beyond Big Thunder and what is actually happening with Dino Land. I think we might at least get one of those answers very, very quickly. And then it's going to stall out again, which sucks. But I think that's what's going to happen. And maybe the next news we'll get is more solid terms in August, which is the 9th, 10th, and 11th, I believe, which is D23, which is probably going to be the biggest one yet out in California. So here's what we actually know for now. It's not a lot, but it is something. Disneyland in California, we don't know where at. It's either Disneyland or DCA. Will be getting Avatar. We don't know exactly what's going to go into it, but we're getting Avatar in Disneyland. I have a feeling that it's going to be in DCA, but we're not sure yet. Will it be in maybe the newer park that they're looking at? I know Bob Iger said that they could expand Disneyland upwards of 50% of its current size. So, is it going to be in a new expansion somewhere else? I think it's going to be in Disneyland. In Disneyland California Adventure, I think that's where it's going to be. I just have a feeling that it's going to land there. I think it's going to fit better there as well. So we're getting that. Now, here's the other question. Is it going to be an exact carbon copy of what happened in Disney World? Probably is what I'm thinking. I don't want it to be, but I have a feeling that we are going to be getting Avatar that's in Disney World, and it's just going to be an exact model of that in Disneyland. I hope not. I hope it's something new. Maybe it's playing off the second movie or a continuation of the story that's in Avatar in Disney World. But I really hope that maybe Disney moves away from the copy and paste method that they have done elsewhere. So we're getting that. We don't have a confirmed date. That is something we don't have as well. We just know that it is coming. This is greenlit. This is not a blue sky project. This is happening for Disneyland. It's just we don't know where at. We don't know the time. So take that with a grain of salt. Here's the other thing. Bob said that we have thousands of acres as a Disney company to be able to expand in anywhere in the world, which is great. But here's the question. Is it real? I don't know. I want to say yes, absolutely. We have the land. Of course, Disney has the land. They buy up land all the time. But what is the likelihood that this actually happens? 7 full lands. I am not sold on that, at least as of now. Can they do it? Absolutely they could do it. Will they do it? Probably not. I mean, you look at the history over the last 3 to 4 years, nothing is getting approved. We've had blue sky projects year after year after year since I feel like 2019. So, where and when is this actually happening? I mean, at some point, they have to greenlight something for real that's actually going to be happening. Because if not, they are absolutely going to lose the race of best theme park or best storyteller to Universal. Epic Universe is coming. Whether they like it or not, it's right around the corner. Yes, it's over a year away, but it is literally right around the corner when it comes into timelines for business. It's happening. What will Disney do to make sure that they stay on top? I think they're going to have to come out swinging, and they're going to have to come out swinging really fast. So, our timelines are going to be moved up. Yes, but again, when? I also think that initially, this announcement of Avatar and the 7 new lands that could possibly happen gave a little hope, like for people to hang on to. But it quickly evaporated for most of the fan base that has been dedicated to these parks for a very long time because of the last few years when Disney just hasn't been able to hold any word or solid ground on what's to come for the Disney parks. Here's my opinion of the entire situation and the entire story. Disney as a company has to survive no matter what. They have board members to appease, they have investors and shareholders to appease. So, when you look at it from that terms, Disney's hands are kind of tied with how quickly they can announce things, how quickly things can move. What does it look like from a political standpoint? But I think at least some of that is about to go out the window. Disney can't just keep appeasing the shareholders that maybe own the majority of what's going on with the risk of losing the board, or at least some of the board, or a change that might drastically look where Disney is going in the next couple of years. So I think the current board very quickly will start becoming more aggressive with what's happening in either the day to day or at least the announcements of what's going to be greenlit within inside the next 12 months. Realistically, I think we might get an announcement in the next couple of weeks before the board members have their meeting in April. So, Disney is going to look, I think, aggressively different where they stand, how they get back to where they were between 2010 and 2019. I think that is where Bob Iger wants to be. And I think you're going to see massive moves in that direction, whether it's the current board or not. So if the current board gets voted out and somebody else comes in, things will rapidly change. Like, I think aggressively change. If Bob Iger and the current board stays in, I think you are going to see a much less timid Disney board, and I think you're going to see positive changes to get back to where they were between 2010, 2019, almost a full decade of just absolute dominance, and get them away from the last couple of years where it seemed like Disney was very vocal with where they stood politically or how people viewed them. And I think Disney gets back to the homage of what the company was built on, and that is in and of itself an entertainment company meant to entertain the masses and to inspire hope and joy and intelligence and just overall dedication to moving towards a brighter future instead of fumbling around where they should not be. So, that's kind of my wrap up, I guess, of the entire situation and what's going on with the Disney company. I'm glad we're getting Avatar in Disneyland. I think it's going to do wonders. Wow, do wonders over there. But I hope it's not an exact copy. I hope if it is close to a resemblance, at least a continuation of the story, not the same exact ride. I would honestly love to see like a roller coaster, a thrill ride. Like, don't get me wrong, I love Flight of Passage. Like, I think it's amazing, but I would love to see a roller coaster introduced into Disneyland that's Avatar. Like, give us something new, even if it is an exact copy of the land. Put a coaster somewhere, like put a coaster in the mountain instead of it being flight of passage. Like, that would be sick. I think a lot of people would be excited about that because it'd be something totally new, and it might bring some aspects to fight off maybe the growth of Universal that seems to be forever growing. Like, I mean, you have the Epic Universe coming next year, and then they've announced an expansion in the middle of the US, and then they have an expansion out in the UK. Like, Universal's growing, and you're gonna have to compete with a theme park that's normally thrill based, also fighting for the right to be a storyteller. Disney is going to have to up their game, so I would love to see something like that. That's just my opinion. I think that would be cool. I think a lot of people would like it. It would bring some new aspect to Disneyland. Like, don't get me wrong, you have Incredicoaster and you have some phenomenal rides over there, but that would be really cool. Like, just a true thrill theme park ride. Put it in Avatar. There are so many ways that you could go with that I think the Imagineers would have a field day with some sort of aggressive expansion like that. And then honestly, I don't I would love the announcement of a fifth gate, whether it's in the middle of the US to compete with Universal or a fifth gate in Disney World. So I don't think that we're necessarily going to get a fifth gate as much as I would love it, but I would like a solid yes on what's happening in Animal Kingdom where Dinoland USA used to be and what's going on beyond Big Thunder. And I think we're going to get those announcements either rather quickly before the board meetings come April, or at least we'll get one, maybe two yeses on a green light on what's going to be going on in those areas before D23 in August. I think one last thing that Disney kind of has to start looking into as well is as the fan base either starts coming back or you start trying to grab the attention of new people, what can you do about the current rising prices for tickets, for the experience, for a Disney vacation that most people just either aren't willing to pay anymore or they're waiting much longer before they ever go on those trips? So, how can Disney combat the pricing? And I actually go into that in this video right here, where I show you guys the trip that we have planned at the very end of October. Literally, it's like October 30th, like December 5th or 6th, where we're going to get to see the change from Halloween to Christmas. So go watch this video. I appreciate it. Go out, be you, be great, and I'll see you guys in the next one.